if a farmer sees something work, or his neighbor, he has an acquaintance who's had a positive experience with something, then they're likely to adopt it very rapidly. So they're looking for a confirmation or validation, if you will, of the performance claim for some product, and that can be among their peers, and quite often is. Now, currently, of course, people access information from all over the world via the net, and it doesn't take quite as much show and tell to convince somebody to try something, because farmers now are entrepreneurs and they don't hold back and timidly seek information. They aggressively seek it. They're still looking for validation, but they don't have to see it 3 years on the neighbor's farm before they'll try it. So there's less of a time lag between a new technology first being introduced and widespread adoption now than there was 30, 40 years ago. So everybody's hooked together. I guess the word is networked, and you network a variety of ways. And so when something surfaces that's got real potential, people who are astute, and you need to be astute to survive and prosper anyway today, they're aware of that. I mean, that's more important to them than some of the old skills that we used to think were crucial for farming, like precise driving of the tractor. Of course, you have to be able to drive a tractor, but that's usually not the rate limiting process in success in agriculture. There are a lot of information sources out to help growers sort through these things. They come from private industry, they come from the public sector, from the university. I mean, I have an appointment in extension, cooperative extension, and one of the things we do is help growers make weed management decisions, and involved in that is to help evaluate the strategies or those herbicides that are most applicable in Nebraska conditions. So there's a number of sources a grower can go to try to help sort out those things. But it's more complex than it used to be, and it requires a better understanding by growers to make the most cost-effective choice now than 40 years ago, when maybe there was only one choice, and prior to that there was no choice. So actually the playing field is tipped in the favor of the person who can manage the technology. The synergy is what's really important. Synthetic pesticides wouldn't have made near as much contribution if it hadn't been for the other things. A lot of things developed together. The machinery developed that allowed us to capitalize on the technology that was developed. So we wouldn't have been able to precisely plant, fertilize, apply pesticides without the machinery. We needed the pesticides, obviously, to be developed. We needed the genetic improvement in the crop to capitalize on the fact that we no longer have rootworms eating up the crop and the weed. So a lot of things come together, and I think people should really view this as a kind of like a three-legged stool, and without one of them, the rest of the whole stool is really seriously compromised.